Do you have any tips on letting go of the wrong man? Do you have any tips on letting go of the wrong man? What you need to do is you need to take hold of yourself. You're clinging onto this man for your identity. You're clinging onto this man because if you let go of him, you're not hanging on to anything because you've lost hold of yourself. And if you've lost hold of yourself, you're going to be clinging on to anything and anyone that can give you some sense of identity, that can give you some sense of self-worth. And you've probably been defining your self-worth by the acceptance of that person and now by the rejection of that person. And because they've rejected you, you're not good enough. And you need to hang on to them because the only way you're ever going to feel like you're good enough again is if they accept you, is if they can tell you that you're good enough, if they can acknowledge your existence. So you're basing your self-worth on another human being because you lack it within yourself. And I don't know how long you were trying to paint yourself to try and fit their picture. I don't know how much of yourself that you lost in that journey trying to be whatever you could in order to be with this person. But you need to stop investing in that. You got to reinvest that energy into yourself. You can't control what anyone else is going to do. And if you invest your energy into things that you cannot control, you are going to erode yourself from the inside out. You need to invest in yourself and what you can control. You need to invest in the things that bring you strength, because right now you're probably your weaknesses are probably glaring at you in the face. All the things that you're not good enough at, all the things that you could have done, should have done, would have done. If you could have been this, maybe they would have loved you. If you could have been that, maybe then you would have been good enough. And right now it's not a good time to be focusing on your weaknesses because you already feel weak enough. Right now is a good time to be focused on the things that give you confidence, focused on the things that give you strength. You need to invest in your strongest product right now. You're bankrupt in your self-worth. You're bankrupt in that energy. So you need to put that energy in something that's actually going to build it up. And you're not going to build that up if you're focused on your weaknesses. So I don't know what it is that you love to do, but often in these relationships, you painted yourself so deeply to try and fit their picture. You lost sight of yourself. So you stopped singing, you stopped dancing, you stopped writing, you stopped reading, you stopped boxing, you stopped working out, you stopped all the things that make you feel good. All the things that remind you of who you are, the things that you love, the things that make you feel happy, the things that fill your heart. Because you've been too busy trying to pour it out, trying to figure out why they left, why they this, why they that. Stop trying to figure out why. You got to figure out what happened and what do you need to do. They're not with you anymore. And now you have a choice. I think one of the best ways I used to motivate myself after a breakup was, who are they going to see? If I run into this person in 6 months, who are they going to see? Are they going to see the same tired ass Levi? The same guy that they left still in their back pocket, still desperate for them, still begging for them, still the same? Or are they going to see somebody that they'd be like, wow, maybe I missed out. Maybe I made a mistake. I know who I would rather them see. And so what plan do I need to put into place for the next 6 months to get to that point? So that if I run into them, I'm going to feel like, man, they missed out. Because the beautiful thing that happens along that journey, that happens along that growth, is when you start investing into loving yourself, you start investing into growing yourself. By the end of that journey, you start looking back and be like, you know what? I actually don't need them. I'm better off now. I'm better than I've ever been. I was actually at my lowest when I was with that person. I didn't know who I was when I was with that person. I wouldn't even want to ever be with that person again because I never want to lose myself again. I'm actually better than I've ever been in my life. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I love myself at a much higher level than I've ever remembered. Yeah. So focus on your strengths. Focus on the things that give you confidence. The second thing you got to do is get yourself once again into community. Like I was saying in the last example, you need community. You need people who remind you of who you are, because when you think about this person that you're not with anymore, it just reminds you of all the things that you're not. And that's not helping you. You got to remind yourself, you need to be around people who remind you of who you are. People that are investing into you. So you're not just pouring your cup out trying to chase this person, but people who are actually pouring life into you. Yeah. So those are the two things I'd really have you focus on. And the third thing is you need to cut off all supply. You need to cut off every single piece of wiring that still connects you with that person as best as you can. Because I don't know if you have kids with them. I don't know any of your situation with that. But as best as you can, you need to cut all the wiring. You need to cut all the wires. Stop checking their Instagram to see what they're doing, who they're with, what they're up to, so you can compare yourself to the next girl, so you can compare yourself to where their life is headed and where your life is not headed. You need to stop investing in this pyramid scheme. Would you continue to invest in a company that stole all your money and left? No, right? Would you continue to invest in that company? Would you continue to chase them down? At some point, you got to cut your losses and start investing in things that are working. Yeah, big loss. They stole your self-worth. They stole your worth. Get it? They stole the worth. So you invested in this company and it turned out to be not what you thought it was, what it claimed to be. And it took off and took everything you had. And you're still investing in it. You're still investing in this fake ass company. You're still investing in it. What are you doing? Cut it off completely. It is the only way forward. Like a drug. You can't get off of that drug if you continue to take it recreationally. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And right now you're in an addictive state to this person. You're addicted to them. And so you got to, one thing, if you're still doing this, if you're still calling it love, stop calling it love, start calling it addiction. Stop calling them by their name, start calling them a drug. Start using the type of language that creates a disconnect, that creates a better sense of reality of what it really is, because it's not love anymore. Love requires the reciprocal building with two people building together to create love. Yeah. It's no longer love now. Hope that helps.